What's up, everybody? Jerry Scarlato here with another episode of Thriveology 101. And today we want to continue our talk on how to keep going once you've started your goal. Last time we talked about the pre-mortem analysis that we're going to do to make sure that we pick out all the obstacles that we might run into as we're moving toward our goal. Once you've done that, the next thing that you need to do, the second step that you need to do to keep going is to keep track of the things that you're doing. Now, I know we all like to believe that we can just pick things. We want to start doing this thing and we think that we're just going to do it every day and, we don't have to really pay attention to it much. It's just going to be part of what we do and that's it. But typically that doesn't work out quite as easily as we like to hope. So keeping track should be a little more deliberate than that, especially when you're just getting started on something and you're just making changes in your life. What does keeping track look like? Well, here's a fancy little thing. This is called a calendar. And on this calendar, I have some practices that I'm going to do. Now, I'm not going to do this. This is for another project that I have going on. But for this first week, I have mindfulness practices that I'm going to do every day. And then for the second week, I have meditation practices that I'm going to do every day. And I'm going to track whether or not I complete my practice or whether I don't. There are a couple important things to pay attention to whenever you're tracking your progress. Number one is to not miss twice. It is important to not miss twice. On this calendar, what you're going to do is get yourself a green pen and get yourself a red pen. Your green pen, you're going to circle whenever you've done your practice for the day, your process goal that we've talked about. If you don't get that process goal off the list and you haven't done it that day, then you're going to put an X. You don't want to see two X's in a row. You don't want to see two red X's in a row, because when that starts to happen is when that habit starts to slip away, is when that thing that you're trying to change starts to slip away. For instance, if you've ever tried to change the nutrition that you have going on in your life, no matter how you're eating now, maybe you're trying to improve it in some way, shape, or form. And let's say that you went out to lunch with some colleagues and you decided to get something that you wouldn't normally eat on your new diet. So you're on your new diet and you're going to get chicken fingers. Chicken fingers aren't on your diet, but you're deciding to do them anyway. And after the chicken fingers, you feel bad about it, but you say, oh, that's okay, I'll just get back on it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you've already messed up yesterday, so you might as well just mess up today. And then you tell yourself, I'll just get back on it on Monday. And by Monday, you've already skipped 4 days. And so what's the point in even trying to get back on it at that point? So as you can see, that slippery slope that you run into whenever you convince yourself of skipping another day, and it's okay to just skip another day. That's why you don't want to see 2 days. 1 day is bad enough. Not bad, but 1 day is certainly something that you don't want to do, but you definitely don't want to see 2 days skipped in a row. You don't want to see those 2 days skipped in a row. So you don't want two red X's back to back. Another thing to think about whenever you're tracking is you're tracking each day and circling the ones that you're doing, that you're accomplishing, and you're Xing the days that you're not. The last day of the week, that's Friday. You can, of course, do this Saturday or Sunday over the weekend if you want. You want to do a week in review. And basically, this week in review is looking back at that previous week, looking at your calendar and saying, okay, on those days that I missed, what went wrong? Why did I miss those days? And all those days that I did complete this practice, what went right? Why did I complete this process goal? Was it easy on those days because everything lined up? And did I miss because something fell off the wagon and something went wrong? And if something went wrong, then what is that thing? And how can I overcome it next time? So you want to look on Friday and you want to sit down, you want to set 15, 20 minutes aside to do your week in review so you can look at it and you can say, what went right? What went wrong? And how do I do better next time? How do I overcome those obstacles next time? And this, my friends, is part of the magic of continuing to move forward and continuing to make progress. If you look at your week on a regular basis and you review the things that you've done and the obstacles that came up and how you overcame them or how you didn't overcome them, then you will become much more proficient at overcoming obstacles in the future as you're moving toward this goal. So that's definitely something to think about. So since today is the last Thriveology 101 before the new year, we're going to go ahead and go over step 3 of this keep going process. We talked about the pre-mortem. Just now, we quickly covered keeping track of your progress via a calendar. And then the last thing that you need to do is show up. Show up. Like I just said, as you're tracking your progress, you don't want to see 2 X's in a row. You don't want to see those 2 X's in a row. It's a slippery slope. If you start to go down that slope and you start to skip days, especially consecutive days, it is much harder to get back on track. You don't want to see those X's. It is much better that you get something in rather than nothing. For instance, like we talked about in the example, if you happen to have chicken fingers at lunch and that's not on your diet, you decide right after that last chicken finger, I am back on the diet. I am back on my nutrition. I'm not eating chicken fingers again. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. You're going to get right back on it. You're not going to wait till tomorrow. You're not going to wait till Monday. You're going to get right back on it and you're going to do it. Because you can always make a decision to get back on it. The next second that after you've messed up, after you've slipped up and you've broken your promise to yourself that you're not going to have the chicken fingers, you can decide that you're going to get back on the routine right after that. Don't wait. Don't convince yourself that it's okay to wait till tomorrow or the next week or the next month for that matter, but get back on it immediately because something is always better than nothing. Exercise is another perfect example of this. If you can't make it to the gym for the hour that you're allotting to your gym time, that's okay. Make it for 45 minutes, make it for 30 minutes, make it for 15 minutes. 15 is better than the 0 that you're going to do if you skip. 15 is always better than 0. Something is better than nothing. So always show up. Show up, show up, do it. Be there every day when you tell yourself you're going to be there and show up and do it. Because it's only in showing up that you will continue to make progress toward that goal. The second that you convince yourself to stop and skip is the second that you stop making progress. So don't let yourself do that. Do not let yourself be that person that says, it's okay for me to skip this. I'm going to show up and I'm going to do it. And that's how I'm going to achieve my goals in 2020. The other way that you're going to achieve your goals in 2020 is by showing up to the New Year's Revolution Summit. That is this Saturday on January 4th at 9 a.m. Check the description for the link. Sign up. It's free. Come in, learn about getting rid of aches and pains, getting sustainable diet into your life, getting more movement into your life via at-home workouts, and also how to go through this process. We're going to go through this process live in goal setting.